One of the big misconceptions I always saw, I don't know if you've ever come into contact with this, is people hear that it's a creative writing degree and they think that they're going to spend however many grand to just sit and write stories all day. And they don't think about the reading aspect, the critical commentary aspect, the fact that you have to basically be able to dissect a story down to the nth degree and do a shitload of editing. Have you noticed either like people who aren't part of the community who have that misconception, or even students who have signed up to it who don't actually know what they've signed up for?
I think clearly sometimes, and it's not as often as you'd think, but sometimes people think of creative writing as an easy option.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I got that
as
so
yes,
much at uni. They thought I'd chosen a DOS subject. And it's like,
yeah,
okay, I did choose it because there are no exams, but that was for my mental health as much as I want to be a better writer.
it's also just rubbish. I mean, it's such a ridiculous thing to think when clearly writing a novel, a good novel, that is must be one of the hardest things you can possibly do. You know, to write Bleak House or a Shakespeare play, you know, that is the opposite of easy. You know, so it is a sort of strange misconception, I think, and I don't think it's a common one, but I can see that students sometimes get stick from other courses about that. But I think people go into creative writing with all sorts of different ideas of what they are going to do and what kind of thing it will entail. And one of the things that I say right from the start is if you are doing creative writing at university, as opposed to doing it in your own time or even in evening class, it's all posited on an idea of self-awareness, self-criticism, that you get better by reflecting on what you've done. And so romantic with a big R ideas of spontaneity, of your creativity just pouring out of you in a spontaneous flow. Well, that's the opposite of how creative writing is taught as a subject. Creative writing is taught as a subject according to the idea that you get better through receiving criticism, being self-critical, learning craft tools, reflecting on what you've done, reading other things. So it's a model that is about self-reflection in a way that is at odds with the idea of things like innate genius. I have to say, and again, you know, people are welcome to totally disagree with me, that I am a nurturist. And I do not believe in innate genius. I don't believe in, to some extent, I don't even believe in spontaneous imagination. I believe that actually you learning to write is learning to write, you know, that it's one little tiny step at a time. And maybe to some extent that reflects my own experience because I learned to read and write very late. I was a really slow learner, still am in some ways, and it, you know, it was painful step by painful baby step. And the last thing I'll say on this is that what that means, because I think that means that you can learn it and you can learn the craft. If you have stupid levels of persistence and perseverance, like I do, what that means is that creative writing is a democratic form. Because if you are determined enough, anyone can learn it. Anyone can learn to write well. But it does take years.